Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So I'm very happy to announce that the game Infinitode 2 has been receiving a huge update. The patch notes are finally out, the update 1.8, and also this game is going to be released on Steam on the 30th of April, so in 3 weeks. And I'm very excited because the game in the mobile phone was cool, but it wasn't that easy to play. So it's going to be interesting to see how they have adapted the game to be played on the computer. And not only that, the patch notes for this new major update have been released, um, and uh, and this is huge because a lot of things have been changed, added, removed, nerfed, buffed, and it's just insane. You can see here in the long list how many new features, changes in the balance, the score, towers. Every single tower has been redesigned. The enemies also are redesigned, bosses, the abilities, the modifiers, research. Like, it's insane how many things in this last year since they announced they were gonna do a major update. I think it was like last year in 2020, and since like this in this last year, I'm pretty sure the developers have just tried to add so many things and to change completely the game, and also the cross-platform release. So yeah, I just wanted to go through the list of the main things that have been added or changed, because of course there are so many that in order to cover all of them, I would have to do like an hour, a video long 1 hour. So that might be too long. So it's not going to be only on Steam, it's also going to be on iOS. And yeah, it's just nice. So here there is a summary of the best changes, and now the cool thing is that the progress can be synced between the platforms at any time. I don't really know how they're gonna do it, if they're gonna create like a Steam, an Infinitode kind of account, so that when you play on any platform and you join in with that account, you can just sync the game. I think that's how they're gonna do it. But it's very nice, whatever platform you are using, you can just sync your profile, so it's just super good. Then there is a change in the score. Now the score is going to be gained, so more score is going to be gained for early wave calls, for killed enemies, and for cleaning out the waves. The miners instead are going to give less score, so the resources mined are going to be giving less score. No score for the coins, for how many coins you have at once, and you're gonna get more green papers for depending on the score that you have, so up to 40% more. So overall, I think they're really trying to turn the game, rather to trying to survive as many waves as possible. They're really trying to turn the game into killing as many enemies as fast as possible. So it's a completely different approach to the game, and I just like more this approach. So yeah, it's just very nice. Then another thing, every tower now has got 2 new abilities. So from 4, and now every tower is going to have 6 abilities. An ultimate ability and a powerful ability that can be both unlocked at level 20. Now if I go down here, you can find more on these abilities. So you can see that the powerful ability is going to multiply the power of each tower by 110%. So it's going to increase pretty much the power by 110%. And then now power though, so the power stat is not gonna increase any more range and the special abilities, so the special passives of the towers. So that's the change. So now they're gonna gain a lot more power, level 20, but you're not gonna be able to gain more range or special abilities. And yeah, that's pretty much the connection with this. And instead, the powerful ability is pretty much an ultimate ability that the towers are gonna just gain. That's gonna add another effect, and you can find right here in the tower. See the basic. See this, the ultimate ability. The sniper has another one, and every tower has a different ultimate ability. Then just later on I'm gonna go through all of them, but yeah, it's just more interesting, more stuff that the towers can do, so they should be stronger. Right here, of course, towers and enemies have been heavily rebalanced. Bosses are easier, and also bosses have been redesigned and more balanced. Now remember that season 2, with this update, season 2 is gonna start, and therefore the leaderboards are gonna reset. So try to get the highest position possible in the leaderboards right now in season 1, so that you can get higher rewards. I think the highest position possible is being in the top 1% of players, because then you need to be either first position, second position, or third position to gain more rewards. So I would say like being in the top 1% is the most realistic position. So yeah, try to go for that. Of course, new pictures, account levels, badges for the profiles. Then here another stuff is this, abilities. Now abilities are gonna use an energy pool rather than having individual cooldowns. And therefore you're gonna be able to use the same ability a few times in a row until this energy pool is depleted. This energy pool, of course, is gonna recharge over time. And I think down here is where it says exactly how. So yeah, all abilities use a shared pool of energy which restores over time. It doesn't say exactly how many it restores, but you can see the Fireball is gonna cost 2 energy, Blizzard also 2, Windstorm 3, Thunder 1, and so, you know, depending on the usefulness of the ability or how much damage you do with it, it's gonna cost more or less energy. Then going back here, also the abilities are going to have now extra effects, so yeah, everything has been pretty much changed. Then here, new research. All right, so 191 new unique research, and now there will be research for abilities of the towers, for modifiers, for miners, not just the mining speed, but also, for example, how many items you can loot, and a bunch of other stuff. I think down here it's again they just go into more detail. So where are the miners? Sorry, maybe I lost them. Miners. Maybe right here. It's called something. Anyway, it's just, you know, the fact that they've been redesigned, so they're not gonna be working as before, and you're gonna be able to boost them even further with research. And you can see that the new just examples of this new research is going to be passive coin generation. So now this is something cool. Until like this patch, so before this new patch, you can only gain coins when you kill enemies and you call early a new wave. But now there will be also a passive coin generation, so you're going to be able to gain coins even if you're not killing enemies. So this is going to be very, very interesting, because you're going to be able to get a lot more cash, in my opinion, a lot more coins, and therefore more upgrades. And yeah, just nice. Also loot frequency, very, very nice if you're playing on Endless. And also look at this, bit dust drop rate. That's very, very nice. Having, you know, the fact that if you're already an advanced player and you're just playing in order to get bit dust, if you can increase how many bit dust are going to be dropped, that's the best. So I guess it's exactly what we need. And then the towers are going to be able to get a higher max level. I don't know how much it is, but I think it's at least doubled. So right now the max level is level 50 when you have endless mode maxed. But I think that now, like in this new update, it's going to be at least like level 100, maybe even more. And now also this is another very interesting thing. Endless mode difficulty can be increased up to a point where you can farm millions of papers per minute. And that's because if you go in another portion right here, it said that green papers are going to be depending on the percentage difficulty of the portal. So the higher the portal difficulty, the higher percentage of the portal difficulty, the higher green papers you're going to gain for that particular gameplay. And therefore, I'm pretty sure this is going to just increase the difficulty of the portal over and over and over. So at a certain point, you're going to have such a high difficulty that yes, you're going to need the very strong towers to survive, but then you're going to be able to get a lot more of papers per minute. So it's going to be like more of a farming routine rather than farming on custom maps. You can farm on real levels. So it's going to be very, very nice. Of course, new optimizations, graphics, the game speed also has been increased to 4 times. So yeah, everything is going to be faster farming and less boring. New achievements, new statistics, new the replay, the tail mode, all the stuff. Graphics also has been increased. There will be released also 4 new script levels for stage 6, and they're going to have unique mechanics. And if you go around here, it says exactly the mechanics of the new levels, where you can change. I think it's right here. Yeah, it's right here. So you can change like abilities, you can change score calculation, coins generation, speed of the enemies, and many other things on these new levels in stage 6. You can change up to 520 different parameters to affect the gameplay. So yeah, huge changes coming out with these new levels. Now the Gauss Tower, that is a tower that's only unlocked in I think in one of the last levels that has been added. Now it's going to be fully unlockable for every single stage, and it's going to have, of course, its own research tree. And a new tower has been added. It's called Crusher, and of course it's going to be unlockable, and it's going to have its own research tree. So going down and taking a look more at this tower, you can find it right here. Now it says that it's going to catch enemies and damages them before releasing them. So it's pretty much like a balloon chipper. If you play BTD 5, you know what I'm talking about. It looks very similar to like a balloon chipper, but then the fact that released enemies may avoid further crashes. So I'm pretty sure that the more times you catch these enemies, the higher the chance that the enemies are gonna ignore other crashers, so you're not gonna be able to damage them anymore. Now the cool thing is this: towers can continue to damage and debuff the enemies that are being held by the crasher. So unlike the balloon chipper in BTD5, the other towers can still damage the enemies that are being held by the crasher. Now debuff enemies with an experience bonus, which greatly increases the amount of experience given for damaging the enemies with crasher or any other tower. So as this tower is going to damage the enemies, it's going to apply this debuff, experience bonus, and therefore the more you attack it, the more experience the towers are going to gain. So it's very, it seems like a pretty cool tower overall. Then here you can find the abilities. So you have the first ability, Heavy Vice, greatly increases the damage of the tower. Then increased capacity ability, you can hold more enemies at the same time. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of the most important abilities to unlock. Then Careful Processing ability, this is going to improve the debuff, so the experience bonus on the enemies. So I'm pretty sure, like, depending if you're using it to go DPS or if you're using it more of a support, I would guess support is slightly better. So I would say this ability and this one is just better to get, you know, out of the 4 abilities you can unlock, sorry, the 3 abilities that you can unlock, these 2 I think are going to be the best. And then the 4th ability that you unlock once you reach level 10 is going to be this one, Disorientation ability. So it has a chance to force an enemy to walk towards a random portal, so to walk backwards, all right? So it's like a distraction from the ninja, from BTD 5 or 6. Dealing damage to enemies on the way. Disoriented enemies deal damage equal to 300% of their remaining HP. So the higher the HP that you can proc this disorientation ability, the higher the damage that you're gonna do with these disoriented enemies. And this is gonna be very nice for the late game, because in the late game, the only factor that changes on the enemies is the HP. They start having tons and tons and tons of HP. So if you can keep a percentage of that HP, you're gonna do a percentage damage of their HP to the other enemies. You can keep on having a pretty cool amount of damage. Then of course the powerful ability is this one right here that every tower is gonna gain when they reach level 20, so increasing the power at 110%. And then the ultimate ability is this one right here. So disoriented enemies give some coins for each tile they were able to walk backwards. Now this effect is going to depend on the upgrade level of the tower. So the higher the upgrade level, pretty sure, the higher the amount of coins that you're going to be able to gain. And I'm pretty sure this is going to work like this. When this enemy starts walking backwards, it's going to explode. So it's going to do damage against the first enemy that hits. So yeah, I think that's how it's going to work. So yeah, that's the new tower. Of course, not being able to try it, it's very difficult to grasp, all these things. But overall, I would say it's pretty cool. It's gonna be more of like a supporting tower, and just placing some of them, not too many, because you can see that if you can already damage an enemy in this way, you cannot damage it anymore. So like you cannot hold it. So yeah, it's just nice, a new tower. And yeah, I think that's it. Now the game on Steam, I've read a developer's comment. The game on Steam is gonna cost €5 or $5, and this is of course because of the fact that they had to adapt the game to the computer, and so I think it's pretty okay, that it costs a little bit. But then, as you get the game, you're not gonna get any extra ads or payments. Everything will be able to be unlocked easily and for free. So yeah, that's just another thing. I don't know if the game is gonna become also, you're gonna need to pay for it even on mobile versions, so on Android or iOS. I don't know that, but in Steam it's gonna cost $5. Now another thing that I just wanted to list out, because I think that it's gonna be very, very important on how it works, is the modifiers. If you go down here, look at this. Modifiers give 0 coins if sold in less than 1 minute since being built, except bounty. So the modifier is going to give you cash. It has 5 minutes delay. Now this is huge, because in a lot of strategies, especially for players that were trying to be rank 1 or 2 or 3 in the leaderboards, they were abusing the fact that if they can pause the game right before the round ends, they can sell every single modifier, they can place the bounties, they can get the extra cash because the level is over, and then as soon as the new wave starts, they sell all the bounties and they place again other modifiers. Now this is not going to be doable anymore, because you're not going to be able to get that cash back. If you place the modifier, then you sell it, you're going to get no cash, 0 coins. And this is, I think this has been designed especially to discourage people to use these strategies, trying to beat the game, doing, abusing the pausing effect, and the fact that as the game is paused, you can still change stuff. I don't know if they're gonna also fix that. No, normally on every game, when you pause it, you cannot change anything, right? But the fact that in this game you can change it makes it, for some grinding players to try to have some very, very long and strategies to try to beat and to have a super high score. But now that is not gonna be any more used, because it's this. So this is a very nice upgrade and a new feature. And yeah, some modifiers have been just reworked a little bit. And now the cool thing is the bounties. Actually, this is a nerf, I think, because the price of bounty is going to depend on the difficulty of the map. So the higher the difficulty, the more expensive I think it's going to be. So it's going to be more difficult to place a lot of bounties. And yeah, that's just it. Then just 2 words on the research part, because you can see that you can get 191 new research nodes with 500 plus levels. I don't really know what this means. If that's a complete or a total sum of every single ability and upgrade research, but it's just insane. And now there is research for every single ability of all the towers. So you're gonna be able, for example, for the freezing tower, you're gonna be able to modify not just the range, freezing speed, freezing percentage, but I think you're gonna be able to change the snowball. So the special ability, you're gonna be able to modify it with research, and the same applies to any other tower. So every single ability is gonna be worked, and especially if you consider like the freezing tower, the abilities are, for example, the fact it's gonna gain double experience, one of the abilities. If you can boost it to so that you can gain 3 times, 4 times, 10 times more experience with research, is going to be very, very cool. And all the towers, I think with this, all the towers are going to become a lot stronger. So that's why they're nerfing the score, they're nerfing a lot of other stuff. And even the towers themselves are a bit nerfed. Some towers that were very weak are have been buffed a little bit, but overall, the towers have been pretty much nerfed. And yeah, just to adapt to the fact that they're going to be a lot stronger because of this new research. And then there is new research for stars, enemy speed, explosion piercing, abilities, energy regeneration. So you're going to be able to feel the energy pool faster, so you can use more abilities, loot frequency, and coins generation. Then yeah, there are a lot of new stuff added, like coins generation, upgradable global research, loot slots, and max upgrade level for every miner. So now the maximum level of every miner is not going to be anymore level 5, but depending on this one, I think it's going to be like level 10. So every miner is going to be able to be upgraded up to level 10. Very, very nice. Range for search modifier, overload. Also the abilities have been reworked a little bit. Especially the fact that some abilities are going to give less cash. For example, see this one, Fireball. Kill enemies are going to drop bonus coins if you have the research, of course. But for certain towers, for example, this one, see, Smoke Bomb, kill enemies are going to drop fewer coins. So I think this has been made so that people in the late game are not going to be willing so much to use these abilities to pop more enemies, because yes, you're going to be able to destroy them, but at how cost? How many coins are you going to lose because you're killing enemies like this and not with your towers? Even Firestorm, see, fewer coins. Nuke, less coins. More damage, but less coins. And overall, they have just changed the abilities. A very, very important thing is this, guys. Magnet will no longer affect the maximum DPS. And this is huge, because maximum DPS was the central part that allowed the abilities to be effective even at very late stages of the game, with enemies with a lot of HP. But now, if Magnet is not anymore affecting maximum DPS, you can only upgrade this by having the raw damage over towers. And the other bad thing is that now Windstorm is not anymore global, but affects enemies only in a range of 5 tiles. So it's not anymore global, it just affects a very small part of the map. And that's, of course, again, I think it's all a nerf, so that we use more the towers to do damage rather than using abilities. And therefore, increasing the maximum DPS with this is going to be more harder. And yeah, so that's just how it is. So I think they are just changing how maximum DPS works to really decrease the amount of damage you do with abilities. And yeah, just a bunch of other stuff. Oh yeah, another thing is a new ability. This one right here, Overload is called. And it's going to increase HP and speed of enemies for a short period of time. But kill enemies are going to give bonus score. So it's not bonus coins, it's bonus score. And this effect can multiply if you call an early wave again while this ability is active. And also it's going to increase the mining speed of all miners while active. So yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to try it out, especially maybe in the middle game when you have already a bunch of towers that do a lot of damage, and you can afford to have the enemies to be tougher with more HP and being faster to gain that extra score. So yeah. Bosses have been redesigned. I'm not gonna go through this, but they are gonna be easier to kill overall, as you can see right here. And then enemies, I think they have just changed a regular. They have gonna be less HP on higher waves, and they have just changed the enemies, if they're gonna be receiving more or less damage from a certain tower. For example, a missile will not be able to damage the fast enemies, or like multi-shot strong ones. And now healer is going to regenerate 5% maximum HP of nearby enemies. And now this is going to be something that we need to be careful, because in the late game, if you don't kill these guys fast enough, they're going to be regenerating so much HP that it's going to be very bad. So I think that they have just redesigned this to be stronger. I don't know how much it is right now in this current batch, but this seems to be quite nice. Quite a lot. So yeah. And now this is also a very, very huge nerf. Icy enemies were already a pain because of the fact that they can't be slowed. But now they cannot even be stunned. They're going to be completely immune to Laser Tower. And they're going to be completely immune to Blizzard, so the ability, and the Snowballs, if they have armor left. So now icy enemies are going to be a lot tougher. And yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, to try to find strategies in certain maps to try to defeat these enemies on very late waves. And then here the towers, they're all gonna be gaining an ultimate ability. I'm not gonna go through all of them because each one is different, and each one, like, I would need to do a video just to cover only the towers. But overall, you can see here that they're gonna get less experience. They're gonna gain less range for research. And then the powerful ability that I said before, and then the ultimate ability at level 20. And yeah, just a couple of changes, tweaks to certain towers. The fact that now the area of damage, so the explosions, so for both cannon and from missile, the explosions, the enemies are going to absorb part of the blast wave, which reduces damage to enemies that are behind them. So in that way, yeah, it's not going to be that powerful, or as powerful as it is right now. It's going to be a little more difficult to damage a lot of enemies at the same time. And also the range of explosions has been reduced to a maximum of 2.5 tiles. So you cannot even increase it that much. And yeah, overall, some nerf or changes to the towers. It's not really it's something that, it's, as I said before, it's just something that we're gonna have to test it out in game, because right now I cannot tell if these changes are gonna be good or bad. I just need to test them out and to see. And yeah, that was it. So if you guys want me to do another video where I go into detail about what I think about the towers change, just let me know in the comments, and I'm gonna try to do that. Now, last thing, yeah, I forgot to do that about the score. Now you can see that you're gonna gain more score from kill enemies, more for early wave calls, more from destroyed wave, and more green papers. but then the mined resources are going to give less score. So it's a reduction of 66%. And that's a huge. So right now they're giving 50 or 90. They're going to give 10 to 30. So yeah, they really want us to not focus on miners to get high scores, but to focus on killing enemies very early, to call the next wave early, and to just keep on going through the waves. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hope that you're gonna be hyped also for the fact that this game is gonna be released soon. And yeah, see ya. Bye bye.